Okay, I'm really sorry, but my dad is here. Can I just let him in for a second?
Ashley's here.
Jesus, sorry.
Oh,
I'll just let him know.
sorry. Oh my God.
Hey!
Oh my God.
Look at that jacket! Wow! You get a lot of mileage out of that jacket, don't you?
Unbelievable.
When I put it on, I just feel better about myself. It's funny.
Wow. Who are these gorgeous people you're working with today?
Right. So you remember my co-host Dom, wherever he is on your screen. And then Sophie is one of our Ravens. But what's funny about this is
Sophie.
neither of them knew that you were coming. I told them that my dad was coming, which here you are.
Let me say one thing. You can't kill Dan Scott. That's a soundbite you can use for your promos.
Oh, it's so good.
Paul, thank you so much. Welcome.
For you, I'd do anything. You're one of my favorite people. I absolutely love you, and I love your show. I lurk around and watch your stuff sometimes, and I think you're great. I think you're going to be the next Ellen DeGeneres. I really do.
There you go.
That's
Look at the silence. Look at the stunned silence from your buddy.
I mean, there's an opening slot on TV now.
There is. A gaping wide opening has appeared in the universe for you, Simon.
My hands were sweating before knowing that you were coming in, and now I'm just all over the place.
I see the bobbleheads in the back. I see the Goldbergs. I see the Lost. I see what's on the tape on your right there. Is that that's One Tree Hill. There we go. Okay.
One Tree Hill. Yeah, you're next to Boy Meets World at the moment. They're enjoying their podcast. But you've been killing it on Drama Queens. Like your podcast, you're not just TV royalty, you're podcast royalty now. How have you been enjoying that?
Well, I have like 5 people in my life that are my closest friends in the whole world that I tell all my secrets to, and people that you can you really share with. And Joy has been, one of my confidants in my life. I've lost both my parents. I'm raising a kid alone. Life is different than it used to be. It's like, and her and I kind of like became buddies. And so anytime Joy calls me or even texts me in the middle of a Drama Kings podcast, hey, what was that thing that happened on that day with that person? And I'm like going, this. And we're buddies. I would do anything for it. I think what happened was she found herself one day needing to record an episode, and Soph and Hills were busy, and she had me fill in for them. And it was like just us hanging out like normal, like, sitting there sipping. She's the greatest bartender in the world. She has a full, all the chemicals in the world and all the little rose waters and things that you do. And, what do you want, an old fashioned? What do you want, a Pim's cup? And I'm like, I don't even know what the hell those things are. And she can make you anything. So she's the greatest host in the world. I don't know. She moved to Tennessee, so we don't live near each other anymore. Nashville, Tennessee. I'm sure the world knows that. And I think the Drama Queens is super fun. People don't know this. One Tree Hill started off very much like Chad and James's, maybe even a little bit Dan's, kind of like that show about. It ended up being like a women's power fest. Those girls are so talented and so when people walk on the screen, you can't take your eyes off them. They're so magnetic as actors and people that they really drove that series. I would say from the second season to the end, became a much more powerful, kind of like, I love the feminine energy they're brought. I think it balanced off our sort of like dude energy really beautifully. Does that you guys agree? I'm not sure if you guys got that, but I felt that way. But they weren't tertiary stories. They were mega power, actresses who really push, and make it fun.
Definitely. And I think that's why it still resonates with so many people. And I mean, speaking of resonating with so many people, I mean, Paul, your performances are absolutely phenomenal. We say it every week, but I mean, Dom, we're now in the midst of season 5. Right. So Dom has been telling me how much he wants to tell you about your development, because your character has gone so many crazy places since we started. I mean, Dom, did you ever expect?
Dom didn't tell you. Him and I talk all the time. Dom and I talk every every Saturday, Dom and I get on a Zoom call and we chat about stuff. And so he knows everything already, right, Dom? Tell him.
Yeah, exactly that. The reason I'm so good at my predictions is that Paul basically fills me in on a week-to-week basis. So.
That's it. And he gives me advice on dating, and it really works out great for both of us.
There you go. Perfect match.
But Dom, did you ever expect these turns? I mean, the moment when, Dan picks up the gun and all of that, I mean, you would never have seen that coming, right?
Simon, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see Paul turning up for this right now. I mean, so Sophie is in Australia and it must be like 6:30 in the morning, 7:30 around there for you right now.
This is a lot to take in at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go to work today and think, did that happen?
Yeah, I just talked to Paul Johansson.
Well done, Simon. I fell for it.
Me too.
Stop, man. When Simon calls, we all jump.
Well, you're going to be in Wilmington in November, right? Like the big convention.
Well, it's funny you should ask that. I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, I haven't, it's like I know they like to announce and they to do their presentation, so I'm not sure, like, if I jump the gun or so it's like, who's the guy that shot off his mouth? Was it Ben Affleck about the Marvel character and blew the ending for everybody? Like, I don't know. I mean, let's put it this way. I'm in talks to go to Brussels for a huge convention next year, which I love Brussels. And I just did the Paris one, which was fantastic. And I'm always up for these. We have the best fans, and I'll get a nice haircut. I'll shave. I won't have all this white stuff around my face. I'll look like the young Dan Scott when I walk in. not Grandpa Dan's grandpa, Unfortunately, you guys, this will come for you one day too.
You look great. You look great.
No man escapes it. Nobody does. But I have a great life. I raise a little boy by myself. I have great friends. The guy I work out with every morning is one of my best friends. Is Nick Cassavetes. He directed The Notebook, and every morning we work out together. And we're both writing movies together, and I'm producing films for him. One's about to get released, and it's just like you're in high school and you dream about what your life's going to be. I wouldn't have said I would be Dan Scott if I was in high school. I thought I would be like, something a little more, narcissistic. I always wanted to be like more of a kind of like a romantic movie star, like I don't know, Brad Pitt or something like that. But I didn't have the looks.
That's ridiculous.
When God was giving out looks and brains, I said, just make me happy. And so he kind of cut back.
Never. We always say every scene you're in, and I'm not just saying this to like blow smoke, I'm being 100% serious. You just breathe energy and life into it, like knowing, like, and Dom always says, if you're in an episode, we always rate it higher because you bring so many different dynamics. And I think you can tell that you put so much work into it and are super aware of what you're doing in such a natural way. And that's why you're everyone's favorite antagonist.
Well, look, I mean, I've been very goofy and, I like to have a lot of fun, as you know, Simon. And because, he knows that we talk every Saturday that I'm always goofy. But the truth is, when it comes down to the work, it's funny because I do believe that, it is not about memorizing lines and showing up on the set and being able to say the lines. It's about backstory. It's about context. It's about really filling in the blanks that aren't handed to you by the writers. And a lot of that for me was making strong choices about what my relationship is with the people that scenes are in. Things like with Karen, where, what really happened between us. It's never explained. What really happened? I have to write all that out in journals and book and long form so that when I walk into a scene, I'm informed by the dialogue that I'm saying based on the backstory that I've created for myself that isn't given to me by the writers. So I have to do a lot of that work in advance. And it does give you a measure of sort of like, I think, depth and you do have a different intensity about you, especially if you make strong choices, and so I did do those things. And I made some pretty strong choices with some of the characters, some of which I've never talked about. So that, because, when you're doing a scene, and let's just say that you and I have a scene and I'm supposed to walk in the room and tell you that I'm no longer going to give you any money for college if to get you a job. let's say that instead of that's the intention I'm playing, because the dialogue's doing all the work for me, right? It's telling you what I'm doing. So what's the intention though? If I play an intention that is different than what's written in the dialogue, there's this kind of like complexity that comes across in the work. So I'll pick something, actually, I'm dying of cancer. With every line I tell you, it's not that I'm taking away your money, even though those are the words. Behind the words is, I'm dying of cancer. I need to teach you how to be on your own and be independent. And so when I layer that into my work, nobody knows that I'm playing an alternate intention into the dialogue. Is this too much? Because I don't mean to be.
This is wonderful.
well, this is how you create, that kind of a character that gives you those powerful moments, because my intention is not always synchronized with the dialogue. And so you get these, and if you watch my performances, you can see, well, what the fuck's going on here? Something's more at work here than what he's saying. And that's because of these choices I make before I start the scenes. And I don't share them with the other actors. It's none of their business, because it's my performance. And I don't negotiate in life before I go break up with a girlfriend. Hey, when I come break up with you later, you say this, I'll say this, and then we'll walk away. You don't know. So why would I negotiate with an actor before I go do a scene? I go do the scene and I do what I'm going to do and they do what they're going to do, and we figure it out.
You beat me to it. You beat me to the punch, because I was going to say, how informed are the other actors when you created this backstory?
Let them do their own work. Let them do their own homework. You know what I mean?
Not doing it for them.
Yeah. And by the way, how interesting would that be if everybody negotiated what they're going to do? That's not a scene. There's no tension there, and it can be fresh.
Who are the cast members that handled that the best then? Because you
Joy.
like
Joy's the best. Joy, I only say that because Joy and I have maybe it's because I say Joy's the best. How can I say she's the best? Everybody was really talented on that show. Look, there were days when I was stunned. I did a scene with Hillary one time, and I just was like, I felt like I was going to get like, I just think she's a power. That is a powerful, powerful human being, and her work is profound. Obviously, I think Moira Kelly is maybe one of the best actors I've ever worked with in my life, male or female. And I've had the good luck to work with like Sally Field and Whoopi and every wonderful actors in my life. Duvall, Denzel, Sean Penn, Robin Wright. I've had a great opportunity to work with, and I think Moira Kelly stands with anybody in the world. She's spectacular. Downey, but from the male side, I really, who's really like, Tyler's the most fun person I've ever even been around in my life. So he's just like, it's like Tyler's Jim Carrey. He's like funny and smart and charming and talented, and I hate him. And he's just, and even, I'll tell you something, I've watched Chad in some of this new work he's been doing. He's really become a solid actor. His work and some of the work he's been in since One Tree Hill also has, I think he's really stepped up his game. He's becoming like a legitimate, solid, like leading man. Austin Nichols is a terrific actor. We were real lucky. Brian Greenberg, come on. James, have you seen James's series?
We're actually going to cover it on the podcast. So,
are you?
Yeah, we're going to do each episode. So we're going to watch it as first time viewers together. So, and hopefully we'll invite them on as well, to talk about it, hopefully. So, yeah.
Which season stands out for you guys as the most watchable season? Because there's reasons for each season being good, but one of them must stand out to you guys.
Sophie, what would you say?
Season 3, definitely. I think you said this, Paul. I don't know if it was with Simon or Drama Queens, but it's true, but I never consciously thought about it, how like each season has that tone shift.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite tone is season 3. And then obviously we have the shooting episode and how that just changes everything for the whole show. But
it didn't it? You and I share that. It is the one that I think too. I agree with you. Season 3. Yeah.
Yeah. It has kind of like the best drama. It's also fun in a lot of episodes as well. Yeah. Everyone's hair is great.
So important to the CW, trust me. I would get notes on my hair. Are you kidding me? They would come, producers would come over time, and you'll love this. They'd come into my dressing room and they go, Paul, how are you? Did you get some coffee? Yeah, great. Did you have some breakfast? No, I'm good. I'm good. Oh, is this room too hot? We can cook. No, it's good. It's good. I know they're trying to get to something, and I'm like waiting for it. And they're like, do you think it would be okay? And only if you're okay with it, could we comb your hair? Because it's like, and I'm like, that's what this is all about. I'll take the coffee. It's like literally they were kind of afraid to tell me how bad my hair was, and I just didn't care. I'm one of those wash and wear Canadians. You know what I mean? Like, put me out in the woods. It's like I don't care. I won't even. Some there's days or weeks where I won't even look in the mirror, and then when I'm fortunate enough to be dating anybody that can tolerate me, they'll walk over and go, "Let me just get that for you." I'm like, okay, all right, because it's embarrassing. It's just like. I just got out of the pool right now for you guys, so this is why it looks like this. Hold on, ready? Hold on. Where is it? There it is, the pool. California. The endless mirror. Why am I sitting behind a mirror? This is ridiculous. All right, enough. No, Simon, I don't do drugs. If that's what you're thinking, stop it.
Not at all. I think I don't even know. I'm lost for words. If you go to Brussels, you have to. Well, we'll find out. I'm sure through Instagram and whatever. But that's not too far for Dom and I. So that's definitely we'll catch a flight out there to come and speak to you in person. Would be a pleasure.
We'll do an in Bruges conversation. We'll do the whole thing, right?
Love that. We'll buy you a couple.
How
beers.
great was that movie?
Great movie. Can I ask you an off the cuff question? What's some of your favorite movies of all time? Just a couple random ones.
I'm a weird dude. You gonna be able to take this?
We're ready.
All right, you're sitting down. We can do this. So, with Nell and I. Come on, you guys even know what movie that is?
It's Richard E. Grant, isn't it?
Richard E. Grant. It's an English movie. It's about two out of work, down and out actors in the 70s in London trying to get gigs, and they're ridiculous. It was produced by George Harrison of the Beatles, his first production, and it's actually a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. It's beautiful, and because the characters are very much kind of like I would say Shakespearean kind of tragedies, and they love each other, but they can't get out of their own way. They couldn't succeed if it bit them in the ass. They're just disasters. And it's really wonderful. It's a beautiful movie. I like that. I love Gallipoli, I think was a terrific, fantastic movie from the 80s or the late 80s. That's about the landing of the Australians in the beach in Gallipoli in Turkey during World War I. Mel Gibson I think it's his second movie, and it is profound. It's a beautiful, touching movie. I love The Long Lawrence of Arabia. I think that's maybe because I believe in cinema and not just, I think that's a cinematic movie in scope. And I think those movies, they don't make them anymore. The David Lean, Bridge over the River Kwai kind of stuff, And then there's another British movie, believe it or not, by I think it's Mike Nichols or Mike Lee. It's called Topsy Turvy. You ever seen it? It's about the story of Gilbert and Sullivan. You know it?
No, I'm just pointing. I'm pointing at Dom because the episode where this jacket's from, where it all switches around, Dom calls it the Topsy Turvy episode. Right. So it's just ironic. But so what's that one about?
Topsy Turvy is the story of Gilbert and Sullivan. The writing and musical team that created the incredible West End of London, hits, like Butterfly and all that stuff. I guess you could say that I'm a little weird, like a little offbeat.
Not at all. Can I, one last one? We ask everybody this. What's your fate? What's a bad movie that you love, like a trash movie that you still love, like a Never Been Kissed or a Happy Gilmore or something? Well, that's a great movie, but movies that aren't that great critically, but you love it. It's like a guilty pleasure.
A guilty pleasure, yeah.
I've got a few of those. One is Soap Dish, which I'm in, which is the story of a soap opera in the late 80s with Sally Field and Kevin Kline and Downey. It's hilarious. The back workings of a soap opera. Michael Hoffman directed it, and it's just terrific. It's very cheesy and wonderful. But in that realm, I guess The Longest Yard, the original with Burt Reynolds, is kind of the cheesy, wonderful one. Blade Runner, the original one with Harrison Ford. And a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's fucking amazing. You know what I mean? The original one. Cheesy. Okay, let me go one more cheesy. I'll do a rom-com because I know you guys like that stuff. I love Family Man with Nicolas Cage.
That's a great movie.
Family Man is like my go-to Christmas movie for good feels, right?
Yeah.
Remember?
I've got it up here somewhere.
He's like a rich, like single dude who missed out on a chance to marry a girl and gets sent back in time by Don Cheadle, a kind of an angel, right? To go live a life of like broke with kids and this wife and messy world. And he's like, where's my Lamborghini and all my hot chicks and my money? And he ends up not wanting to go back to his old life. It's beautiful. Family. Is it Family Man or Family Guy? Family Man, right?
Family Man. Yeah. Family Man.
Brilliant. That's a good one, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah. But Sophie, what's one? Throw us one.
Yeah, I need one from you.
Ooh, like my favorite.
Like a trash movie. Guilty pleasure. Yeah.
You'd feel bad if someone saw you watching it, kind of a movie. Like a Vespa. You're riding a Vespa.
Ooh. Any early 2000s rom-com. I swear I've seen them all.
Lose a Guy. How to Lose a Guy in 30 Days. What is it?
Oh, of course. Definitely on the list. I like 27 Dresses, if you've seen that one. With Katherine Heigl.
Oh, right. Oh, she's great.
That's definitely a guilty pleasure.
Bridesmaids was good too, though.
Oh, that's a good one. What about you, Don? You got one?
I always think Deep Blue Sea is like an awful film, but it's actually there's something strangely that draws you into it. You got LL Cool J.
Is that Jason Statham?
That's the Meg.
Aaron Eckhart? Is that who's in it?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going in 2 weeks to shoot a movie with Aaron Eckhart in Kentucky.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Very cool.
It's called Muzzle, about a dog. He's a military dog it's a beautiful, touching movie. I love it.
What have you got? How can people support you? Are you still on Cameo? I can put the link to that.
I'm doing Cameo. Yes, I send you personalized messages, but he gets them every Saturday for free, so he doesn't have to pay. He knows that.
Paul, we're gonna have to start watching films on a Saturday together as well. Some of your choices were fantastic, and I would happily sit.
Right?
I'd happily sit and watch a movie with you any day.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I know that a lot of people think that I have weird eclectic kind of taste. I'm fully financed for a movie I'm going to direct, and it's just a matter of me getting the script in shape. I've got a couple actors attached, which their deals aren't done, so I won't get into that. But it's just a beautiful story about an Italian restaurant that's closing because of gentrification, and it's just an old man who runs a restaurant who's lonely and meets a person in sort of like the last few days of his job of 30 years about to close, and everybody's moving on to other places, and he has nothing and nowhere to go. And it's a study in loneliness, really. I was sitting in Musso and Frank's, a famous restaurant in LA, one of those old Hollywood iconic restaurants that Charlie Chaplin and John Wayne used to eat in. It's still open, and it's just, they kept it exactly how it was back in the day. And I was eating in there one day with some people, and I saw an old man sitting by himself, and but they had two spaces set to eat at his table, and he had his whole meal and then got up, and I went to the bathroom and he was in there, and I was stupid because I kind of felt like, I said, did your friend didn't show up? I saw you had two places set. And he goes, oh, that was for my wife. I said, oh, she couldn't make it. He goes, oh, she died 10 years ago. And I said, well, oh, I see. He goes, well, I always have them set her a place because it's our anniversary, and I come and eat here on our anniversary every year. And he walked out of the bathroom, and I just fucking cried because I was like, I loved how much love he had for his wife, and I didn't know what to do with that. I didn't know how to process that, but maybe I felt like, God, I'd love to have what he has. I'd love to feel that in my life, to have that much love for somebody. And I don't know, it touched me. And so I started to write a movie about a man who never had that and wanted it so bad. And what would he do if he felt like he was his last chance for love? Well, he'd be desperate. He would cling too hard to it and push it away. You know, it's sort of a study in loneliness is what I wanted to do in this script. So I wrote a script about it, and so I'm making that. So
amazing. That sounds
fantastic.
awesome. Can you announce what it's called or not
it's
yet?
called Corrado's, which is the name of the Italian restaurant that he runs. Right now, my friend Nick Cassavetes is going to play the lead. We're out to 2 or 3 different actors, and we have our financing. So we're in a good place. We're ready to go. I just have to. What I have to do is I have to as you guys know, the writing process is all about, if you write one character, like I just explained to you guys, that one character, I have to go into each character and make sure that they're just as flushed out, thought out, and as complete as my main character. And I would say that on the first couple of drafts, I didn't really get there. So I need to bring up the other characters and make their stories just as important. Maybe they're not as big because they're not the lead, but they have to be just as well thought out. So you don't just put people around your main actor just to service him. They have to have their own needs, desires. Otherwise, it's a very sort of easily pulled apart movie, if that makes sense. And that's the process that I'm going through as a writer right now.
Wow.
I get into detail, don't I?
No, I love it. I love it. I'm just wondering, when do you want us all to fly out to audition, or do we just send tape? Or
I'm shooting it in Vancouver. I'm probably going to shoot it right before or after Christmas because I'm doing it on a budget, and I've just, it's not, because nobody gets killed. There's no guns. There's no, it's kind of a drama. It's not a big budget movie, but it's something I'm proud of. But I am writing something for my son. I have an 11-year-old boy, a dad. I'm writing a movie about a little boy who's autistic, who pitches on a Little League team that turns out to be this phenomenal baseball player that nobody knew about because, behind his autism, nobody thought he could do what he can do. And so it's a story of a father who's really embarrassed and doesn't know how to deal with his son because he doesn't understand autism, and he's got this kid, and he kind of like never really knew how to bond with him. But now that the kid's got this one talent, it brings them together in a way. And it's called Pitching in Silence, about this little boy. So I'm writing that on the kind of the outline to get that script going. So that's my next project.
Wow. Then so meaningful. Yeah, go on, Dom.
Oh, wait, we talked about autism, Simon, right? We have a whole connection on that, right? I remember the jacket and everything else, right?
Yeah, because my wife and I run a care service for young adults with learning disabilities and autism here in the UK. So that's like I was a learning disabilities teacher before doing.
What was it called? So what's the?
It's called the Inclusion Project.
Oh, it's great. It's great. So when I'm ready, when the script is in a good shape, I'll send it to you, and you can give me your thoughts on how it's handled. That'd be great.
I'm sweating even more now.
Yeah. This is the thing, right? This is if I love those kind of stories. You know what I mean? My first movie I wrote was Mrs. Ritchie, about 2 Down syndrome boys befriending, a much younger boy, and how he came to love them and appreciate them. It's like, I love those kind of stories. They mean a lot to me,
Well, and
that's Scott, who knew had a heart.
Oh, and it's so awesome you're using your platforms and what you have to tell those stories. You don't have to tell those stories, you're choosing to, and I think that just commends the sort of person that you are. And and we really appreciate that and appreciate what you're doing. I also know that you have a busy life, and I know we've taken up a lot of your time, and I appreciate you doing this.
Let me crash your party.
Well, this was all just on such short notice, and we really appreciate that.
You asked, you gave me 15 minutes notice. So I feel like you gave me plenty of time to get ready, and so it's like typical Simon, what am I going to do? Say no? I have been very lucky. I got on a show that you all seem to really appreciate, and all those people are my friends, and I love them dearly. I feel Montreal is my family forever, and each one of those people in that show, I have a warm place for. And my life is great, and I just want to continue to kind of it's not easy. Nobody's life is easy right now, but I love the challenges. I love that it gets more and more confusing. We live in a very confusing world. Thank God we have these stories to tell that help us, understand our own minds, right?
Definitely. And when there comes a point when drama queens where Sophia, Hillary, and Joy need Domini to make our appearance on Drama Queens, we're waiting. We're ready. Anytime.
No, I don't think that that's out of bounds. I think they actually are the type of, those guys are awesome. And I think if you reached out and if I gave a little nudge, I'm sure that they would probably have you guys on. I think that they're really, you know, again, I couldn't be blessed with better friends, you know?
For sure. And we really
I'll call you on
appreciate it.
Saturday. Are you going to be free on Saturday morning? Yeah,
Always
good?
free for you, Paul. Always.
Okay, good. Let's make sure. Same time? We're on for the same time?
Usual time.
Okay, usual time. All right.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being so supportive and so lovely. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
I had a blast. Good to see you again.
It's been great to see you.
So
Thank
great
you
to
so
meet
much.
you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that just happened.
Well, that's me done. Dom, I'll see you in season 7.
I mean, I didn't even
I'm
get
off.
to talk to you. See you later. Yeah.
I'm so hot in the jacket. Can
I
you see the
told you you would
sweat
be. I
pouring
told
off
you
of
would
me?
be.
Yeah, but you didn't know why I was putting it on,